Hey guys, it is Shah Shafiq, career strategist and coach. Welcome to the career switching workshop. On this call, we're going to be having a mixture of students and prospective customers who are looking to join us on the program. And ultimately, we're here to give you a taster as to how we work and to answer any questions that you have. And in this workshop, we're going to be covering how to become a business analyst, a project manager, or a data business intelligence analyst, even if you don't have the relevant experience and without spending thousands of pounds going back to university. We'll be sharing proven strategies on this call, which you can take away and implement straight away and get instant results. And I've invited a student which has managed to secure a business analyst job very recently, who joined us also very recently. And they're going to share more about how they managed to do that, what background they've come from, and all that good stuff. And you can ask them loads of questions. I'm super excited. Before we go into that, I want to ascertain who exactly is on this call right now. So I want to ask some questions. I've got some polls which I want you guys to vote on. So first off, I want to know whether you are an existing student. So for anybody that's watching this on Facebook, for anybody that's watching this on LinkedIn, or they're watching it on Instagram Reel, this is specifically, I'm hosting this right now in Zoom. So only the people that are within the Zoom call right now will be able to see this poll. So just making you guys all aware of that. But feel free to drop comments down below, and I'll be answering your questions shortly. Okay, so first question I want on the poll is, are you an existing student of TLA, or are you in a position where you're currently thinking about joining us? So I've just put that out there, so it should come up on your screen. So I'd love to know what the stats are like. Okay. Okay, so it looks like we've got a mixed batch. So we have about 58%, which are currently showing up as students, and about 42%, which are currently thinking about joining. Okay, that's really good to know. I really appreciate those answers, guys. Okay, next question I want to ask is, which area of business support are you interested in? So is it data BI analysis? Is it business analysis? Is it project management, or is it something else? So just launch that poll now. So have a go at that. I see a lot. Okay. Okay, so we've got a mixed batch. Okay. You've got a mix between data, business analysis, project management, and other. Business analysis seems to be the bulk, and you've got quite a lot interested in data BI analysis. You've got some for project management and some who have put down other. Okay. Okay, perfect. Okay, I really appreciate those answers, guys. It's really good for me to understand who's on the call. Ultimately, for me, I want to make sure that you guys get maximum value out of this call. Next question I'm going to ask is, which area of recruitment do you struggle with the most? Hey, Uthman, I'll get you on board. So it's going to be Uthman that we're going to be interviewing on this call. So Uthman, I'll get you on call in the next few minutes. So next question I'm going to ask you guys is, which area of recruitment do you struggle with the most? All right, so is it CVs? Is it getting interviews? Is it conducting presentation? Is it interviews? This is a really important question, because I want to make sure that you're able to go away with some actionable tips, tried and proven techniques which you guys can walk away with today and start implementing it and get results straight away. So I'll just launch this poll now. It should come up on your screen. Just take a crack at that. So what do you struggle on? Which part of that recruitment process do you struggle with the most? Is it CVs? Is it getting interviews? Is it conducting presentations? Is it the actual interview process itself? Okay. Okay, this is really good to know. Okay, the biggest is getting interviews. securing actual interviews. See, that's the part that's actually like quite straightforward to do, gain actual interviews. Okay, it's really good to know. I'll cover that towards the end of this call. I want to make sure you all get like maximum value out of this. So, okay. Presentations is obviously, that's very niche. It all depends on the scenarios that are given, but there's usually like a general structure which you can follow for presentations as such. Interviews is given. That's all to do with rehearsing more than anything. Once you got your answers laid out, it's just more about rehearsing. CV can be a bit tricky initially, but once you know how to translate your CV across to the type of role you're going for, it all becomes easier. The one I'll cover today is getting interviews. How do you secure interviews? How do you open up the tap, and how do you get like unlimited amount of interviews? How do you secure loads all at once? I'll cover that towards the back end of this call. So you better stay towards the end of the call. I'll get that for you guys. Okay, next one is last, and this is the last one. So for those guys that are currently thinking about joining us, what is holding you back right now from joining? I'd love to know that. So for those who are thinking about joining us, what's currently holding you back from joining? So, you know, does it sound too good to be true? Not sure how it works, too expensive. Not sure if it's value for money. Other, okay. Okay. Okay, it looks like you've got a mixed batch. Again, okay. Okay, it sounds too good to be true. Well, it does. I completely get it. Look, like if I told you that I went from earning £15,000 a year from the age of 21 to £150,000 to the age of 25, you guys would be thinking that, what the hell, come on, Shaz, you must be like kidding. You must be kidding. Guys, I even have evidence for that. Like, just check my company accounts. I'll tell you what I was doing a good few years back. Ultimately, right, it's not too good to be true. It's all strategy. It's 100% strategy. There's nothing that you can wing as part of this process. It's all just a proven formula, and it's come at the back of like strategies which have come from personal experiences. How to navigate through, how do you switch across, how do you I think it's more to do with mindset more than anything. It's not just about execution itself, because you can execute, but you can execute the wrong way. But once you have the right mindset and then you execute, things become much easier, because you can work hard. And, you know, I'm a big advocate of working hard, but then you've got to work smart alongside it. Just so everything's a lot more efficient and you're building the right connections. Because it's not, I think the ultimate trick is, this is what I found in my career, is that it's not about who you know. It's not about what you know either. It's just more about becoming that person that other people want to know. That was the ultimate formula. It's just becoming that person where, having an endearing personality where people just naturally just gravitate towards you. And it just makes life so much easier. So it's not too good to be true. That's a damn sure. I'll prove that on this call. I'll go through how the program works for business analysis, data, and project management later on in the call. For guys who think it's too damn expensive, guys, it all comes down to what you value more, whether it's the price or the results. It's just about getting results at the end of the day. Like if something can help you get to like 670K, 80K, 100K plus, it doesn't matter like if it costs like 3 grand, like it's nothing, it's pennies at the end. The value that you get, it's all about the value in the end. And I guess like, look, if you're not willing to buy someone else's services and products, why would somebody be willing to hire you for your service? That's what it ultimately comes down to. And the way you buy is also the way you sell, and the way you go about pitching yourself across. So it all, the energy dictates, it all comes aligned. Well, I'll cover the rest on the call, but guys, really appreciate you answering that question. Okay, I'm now going to be getting Uthman on board. Uthman, I'm going to put you down as a panelist. Bear with me 1 second. I've just promoted you to a panelist. Ultimately, just accept that on the screen and you should be able to jump on. Bear with me 1 second, guys. Okay, Uthman is on the call, but for some reason it's having some troubles connecting. Perfect. Uthman, can you hear me okay? I think you're currently down as mute right now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. You jumping on camera?
Yeah, I'm actually in the middle of something. I'll be able to have that on at the moment. Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, sorry, okay, but can you hear me though?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
That's fine. That's fine.
Oh,
Yeah.
First off, massive congratulations for securing a business analyst role. Dude, how does it feel? You are officially a career switcher. How does it feel?
Yes, I mean, it feels good with, it's been a journey, isn't it? Yeah, it's been a journey. I mean, just to be able to finally get the role, because it's all sort of like work in progress, isn't it? It's all about process. Yeah.
100%. It's just, it's persistence more than anything. Like you got to go through the process and just like master each part. I guess it's like, it's having that formula, but just making sure that all the cogs are working in the formula and like finding out like a way to just like going and master it, every single part.
Yeah.
I think it takes time, but a lot of perseverance. And you I guess more than anything, you just make sure that you have the confidence within yourself to make it happen. As long as you have that, you'll make anything work. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree, definitely. I mean, that's the way it works. You just have to keep going, and keep, any sort of experience you can get. I mean, because I mean, when I actually, like it's been a journey. I mean, I have to say, but it's just about, I'm always looking into sort of like improving my experience and stuff, and that's what it is really. So.
Yeah, 100%. I know, I completely agree with you on that. Tell us a bit about yourself. So what were the problems that you had prior to joining us at TLA?
Yeah, what happened was, it's a long story. I mean, to be honest, I actually have sort of like a BA PM experience, before, anyway, before even I came across, before I heard of TLA in the first place. But I was looking to sort of like, keep working in that sort of like field, whether I'm earning or not, if you see what I mean. And also, yeah, and also to at the same time, I keep the momentum going, and also to improve my skills as well. And and that's one of the reasons why I joined TLA really, and also because I do my research about TLA and I see that okay, the survey is actually in line to what I'm actually looking for. So yeah, and I came along. Yeah.
That's amazing. What sectors were you doing it for before, or have you all been in like the banking and finance market?
It was it was sort of like customer service, but sort of BA. It's in a digital background as well as BA, but I wasn't sort of like doing it actively then. So I was looking for a platform where I can continue to sort of like do it actively, and TLA actually provide that opportunity to be able to do that. So.
That's amazing. What made you choose TLA specifically over any other company, course, or program?
Yeah, because I think I remember very well. I spoke to you when I did my research about TLA, and I find out about TLA, and I called, and I thought I read about the what the company is about, and the sort of service that you provide, and also the what do you call it, all the things, all the programs that you offer as well in regards to PM, agile, which was related to my background anyway, but I haven't been so like fully, active in it. So that's the reason why. And also talking to user actually helps as well. And I read the reviews as well, which was incredible. So and I thought, okay, definitely, I'll just take a step forward, and I went for it, and that was it.
That's amazing. Okay, tell us more about this job that you managed to secure. So is this like a permanent job? Is it a contract?
It's FTC. It's been a while that I've got it, but actually, the job I've been doing it for a while now, but I was quite surprised. I've been, able to do this, this session now. And I remember I think I spoke to Lisa, and I said, I would like to actually do this, and just to share my own experience and just to inspire others as well. And that's So that's the reason why I'm actually able to do this now. So I've been doing it for a while now. So, but I just wanted to share my experience, my journey with the rest of the team. Yeah,
that's amazing. But the job that you managed to secure, the fixed term contract. So like, was that via LinkedIn? Did you get that via job boards?
it to be honest, one thing about me is, I always throw myself out there. Either
That's what it takes, man. Like, so
absolutely.
You cast like a wide net, and
Yeah. You got it.
tap in the net.
Yeah. So what? Okay. What I did was, don't get me wrong, LinkedIn is a good platform as well. I have to say to everyone who's listening, it's a good platform as well. But I think I use JobServe quite a lot. I think that's how I wasn't quite active with LinkedIn, so it wasn't through LinkedIn. It was through JobServe. So
I'm with you. Okay, that's actually really, really good. Okay. And what type of questions were you asked them to? Was it like a one-stage interview? Was it 2 stages, 3 stages, or was it?
it was, yeah, it was actually, this one was actually one stage. I have to, but it was one stage interview, and it went well, really, because and the reason why I was able to do well in the interview was simply because I tried to, like, I think you always say it as well. Thanks for that. You have to speak the language, and also the terms, the words, and really, you need to really hone that, those skills. You need to really hone it, and and the responsibility as well. As a matter of fact, even though if you start working in any marketplace, in an organization, your roles and responsibilities, you need to make sure you own it. So that's just what it is. So I was able to do it that way, really, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was the first day interview, and I just got a call, and that was it, really, to be honest. Yeah.
Amazing. I think you have to be it, and then you will naturally become that person. But then it's kind of like I always use this example. I don't know if it's the best example to use, but I'm gonna use it anyway. Because I was super not inspired by the movie, but it just made a lot of sense. Just the specific elements, not the whole damn movie. But you guys must have seen that Catch Me If You Can with Leonardo DiCaprio. Guys, comment in the chat section, yes, if you've seen the movie Catch Me If You
Can. Yeah, I've seen the movie. It's a good movie, isn't it? I mean,
beautiful movie. It was an absolutely amazing movie.
Yeah, it is.
It has some really important lessons in there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I agree.
So I think one thing is that we always have stresses, and the human brain just naturally overcomplicates everything. That it feels like it needs to know absolutely everything before you go about doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's not even about that. Like, you don't have to know it all. Like, it's just, what I find is just more about being extremely resourceful, and like, you can't know everything. It's impossible to know.
Absolutely. And one thing I would like to add to this is also, I mean, you know, you're talking of PM, either Power BI developer, all these, in this genre, in the project management world environment, like BA, Scrum Master, and all, there's always new processes coming up. So you have to keep updating yourself, learning new systems, new tools. So really, those roles, really, what it takes is the ability to just continue learning and
Yeah.
hungry and
You
just
have to be like a learning machine, right? So it's just constantly
yeah,
learning.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, it's constantly trying to learn and adapt to new tools. So that's part of it. But I guess it's like if because you can't know everything, right? It's just knowing where to find the answers.
Yeah, yeah, because it's a different thing because it's not the role is not sort of a target. How do I say? When you work in a different environment where they give you a task, or you have to complete this task today, and they review you. It doesn't work like that. It's just basically it's very you know how do I say, like I said before, you are on your own. At the same time, you're working with the rest, and you have to really use it involves a lot of thinking as well. That's why I said you have to be hungry to learn different stuff, because you have to come up with a solution from you as a PM or BA or Scrum Master. You have to come up with a solution. You have to always bring something to the table,
Yeah.
whether it's going to be accurate or not, but always hard, always hard, always hard. I think that's what it takes really to be a good communicator, and someone that can really always bring something to the table. It could be new tools, new software, new system, idea of how we can make a positive change wherever you may work. So I think that's what it is, really, just to learn, because um, as a BA, really, you have all these new platforms, that you have to really learn. You're talking of Jira, you're talking of, Azure DevOps, and all this, there's different platform. How can you, and the thing is, and for example, if you join a company that they never used them before, I mean, that's just a huge opportunity for you to sort of like, hey guys, I have this new way we can do this. Can I train you on this? That kind of, which means you're actually adding value.
Yeah.
So that's why I said it involves a lot of learning, a lot of, in your spare time, just go through, short bite size video.
Yeah,
Just look,
100%.
look all these tools and how they use and stuff like that. Because apart from being able to, communicate with stakeholder and, the general BA stuff, requirement gathering and all that, you still need to be able to really relate, with, in terms of tech stuff, how to, take what's been said and how to communicate it back. So it involves the law. You have to be able to, you need to have the courage to evolve, to have that passion to bring change, because it's all about bringing change. Because change could be not just to do with, IT. Change could be for the whole organization in terms of how are they trained at the moment? Okay, we can do it this way. I think most company likes that. So
Yeah, I think it's definitely that. I feel like, but to be able to constantly be that learning machine, I think there's a cost to being arrogant and feeling
yeah,
like you know it all, or not being open to learning. And I think it's always trying to be the student as opposed to trying to always feel like you're a master. Never a
yeah,
master, and it's just constantly trying to be in a position where you're learning. You're pretty much ahead, you're trying to learn ahead constantly, and you're just constantly trying to adapt. So
yeah,
those that are looking to make that switch, don't feel like you need to know everything. I guess, like I know Richie is saying fake till you make it and stuff, and
yeah,
I don't fully agree with that. It's more the case of like, I guess it's like having specific personas.
yeah,
It's like you have a persona at home. Like, okay, if you're a father, the father, the fatherhood. It has a certain type of persona. You got to fit into that character, right?
yeah,
Yeah, and then you become that person. And then it's the same thing when you're at work. There's a certain persona that you switch on, and
yeah,
then when you're with your mates, there's a different persona. So
yeah,
you're playing different personas everywhere you go.
yeah.
Like, does that
Absolutely.
make sense? Like, you're not the same person everywhere you go. Like,
It's true. Yeah. Yeah.
you're not.
Yeah.
It's that. It's like
Yeah.
switch on, switch off. Like, so it's like
Yeah.
when you're at work and you build that persona and then you fit into that persona. Okay, you know what, this is what BA is, this is what they do, and then you got to walk and talk it. And
Yeah.
it's more that. So I think that
Yeah. I know.
describes
I,
it well.
I get what you mean. I get what you mean. And also because you'll be surprised when you actually walk in. Okay, you got this job as a BA, you've joined the company, and you'll be surprised that even the thing that there's some things that has been there already that actually those that are actually using it, they still actually learning how to use it to the to the to the fullest potential. Honestly, yeah. You
Yeah,
know, the
100%.
system, yeah.
Everyone's learning. Yeah.
That's what I mean. So it's just like I mean, for example, they could be using they could be using Click for the data or something like that, and you will see someone who will see actually learning that in that platform for them to be able to start using it better.
Yeah.
So talking of use just sort of like joining the company who hasn't used it before. So that's just what it is. It's all about having that ability to, they got to wanting to learn and how quick can you learn it and use it to your own advantage. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I completely agree with you. I 100% agree with you. Okay. Well, when it comes to these interviews that you managed to secure, how many interviews would you say you've been on in total?
Actually, to be honest, I've had more than one interview. So is I think it was up to 4 if I remember correctly. But I wasn't too, how do I say, too down about it. So I would advise people to not be too down about it. Just get back up and keep on learning. But because the thing is, you have to keep on looking at the end goal because once you get it, and that is it. You continue. Um, because one thing about me is because the project that I was doing, the CIM project that I took on with the program, I actually invested a lot of time in it. Actually, in as a BA, there, really using those necessary skills. So that's how I was able to transfer those skills to, my in the interviews that was actually offered to me. So I had more than one interview, but I never stopped applying. So if because every interview the interview that I had, I learned from them as well. So I was able to use similar technique that I use for the other interview, the question. So it now got to a point where, I mean, the interviews, you literally know exactly what they're going to ask, because once you have that, 1, 2, okay, 3, okay, 4th time, no, I know definitely what they're going to ask, is it to do with stakeholder, is it to do with scenario question and things like that. So just much more easier.
Keep learning, yeah, 100%. You kind of see the price. What would you say is different from this interview, the job that you secured? What would you say is different in that interview compared to all the previous interviews that you've been to? Did you do anything differently to prepare for it?
I always prepare for every interview. I don't get too caught up in, oh yeah, I'm okay now. No, even though I know what I'm doing, I will still prepare for that interview.
That's amazing.
Even though I know what I'm so the difference is for the interview for the role that I got, I think they could see my passion, number one, and number two, my personality as well, and number three, the way I communicate as well in terms of the role where I've been to relating to them. So I think that's where it is really. So that's the difference there, and the confidence. So to be honest, all the interview, the rest of the interview, I always showed confidence and all that. But there's one thing about this one. I think that's one of the feedback that I got, that they like how I my character, my personality, how I communicate and stuff. That was feedback. So I think that helps as well. On top of your
100%.
views.
What would you say about your personality helped you the most?
Pardon? Can you repeat that?
Which part of your personality would you say helped you the most?
Yeah, it's just just like how can I say it? Just basically using some like for example, let's say in an interview they will ask something like, okay, what do I do for my hobbies and stuff like that. I would talk about events that I've been in. For example, I'm a keen sportsman. I like running. I've done charity work for
Showing
Martina.
that you're quite active, that you're quite on it, basically.
Yeah, that
Continuous
sort of
improvement.
things.
You're all about like self-improvement and
Yeah,
makes
and
sense.
this sort of area of conversation actually does help as well. So that brings out my personality and my character
What
as
they
who I
call it,
am.
they call it business foreplay.
Yeah.
That's what they call it. And it's super important to have business foreplay. Guys, I can't stress that. I can't stress that enough. Like, never go straight into the interview and dive deep into it. Never do that. Always like start off with a business foreplay, and that's just like trying to get the conversation warm. That's all it is.
It's true. Yeah, definitely.
And get it
And
warm, and then you can go into it. And it's like you're building a rapport relationship, and it's like you're very easy to speak to and talk to.
yeah, and one thing also is because I ask questions,
Yeah.
which shows that okay, this guy is passionate. This guy is is interested in the role. So it's always good to ask questions. The question could even be okay. It may not even have to be. It depends on what kind of conversation you guys are having at that moment.
Yeah.
So yeah, and make sure that that question actually relates to it.
Mm.
So, for example, when we were talking about, that sort of, what's your hobbies? I would probably ask as well. Are you into running as well? That kind of thing. Just to make it more, lively. But by all means, still do make sure all your the actual interview, which is the competence scenario, is actually answered accurately and properly,
Mm.
and not. I've also noted, and also not rushing the answers as well when you're communicating. So slow it down, break it down,
Yeah.
and emphasize on the actual things that they would like to hear. So I always remember when I'm doing the interview, I always remember, because the answer is actually the job description. That's the answer.
That's
So when you are answering the questions, make sure I have to make sure my answer is actually relating to that, but in a different way of saying it. So it's not like I'm reading what's on there. So it's what I'm saying. They could say, okay, oh, that's what we're looking for. It's in our job description. So that's it.
That's perfect. That's bang on what you just said. Is whatever answer you're giving, make sure that it answers the job spec. That is the answers. You're just trying to find a way to
Yeah,
basically back evidence and back it up. Basically, that okay, this is a time where I can demonstrate I've done that task.
yeah,
This is a time where I've
yeah,
demonstrated I can done this task. And it's
yeah,
basically what you just said. That's you pretty much hit the nail on the head.
yeah.
But did you use the star structure?
You mean star? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sometimes I use them, and sometimes I don't use it, to be honest. Because it really depends on the employer who's the interview. Sometimes they will just be like, okay, they just sometimes they just they won't. It is always good to use it. Use it, I have to say, definitely. But they won't tell you to use it. But when you answering the questions, they can tell, because once if they understand the question, that because star technique actually make your answer to be much, it's easier to follow.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. So I do use them sometime. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I get that. It's just it's a very clear structure. It's like you're just telling a story in the interview.
Yeah.
And it just gives you a very easy to use format. So so did you spend time to rehearse the scenarios before the interview? Like, what was that for you? Were you writing it down, reading it out? Were you like role playing with somebody? Were you, looking at yourself in the mirror and repeating it back to yourself?
Yeah.
What was your process?
I, I do write them down. I do tend to write, you know, because sometimes when I write, I can remember, and sometimes really I don't write simply because I don't want to get too nervous. So I remember stuff. So the thing is, if you go on a TLA portal,
Yeah.
yes, I have to say that I mean, well done to the whole acronyms on there and all the praise of interviewing, what you need to follow. It really does help as well.
100%.
And on top of that, um, also the what do you call it? These weekly calls that you get during the week, it helps as well. So if it's just to listening and not even, if I might not, sometimes I might not have any question, but I will still log in just to listening, and it just helps to give you to into being that sort of like zone, as a BA, as a PM, in terms of, so you're not forgetting that in all those terms. So yeah, so I do in terms of in my preparation, sometimes I do write because it helps. It helps me to structure my answer accurately. So I write them down sometimes. Yeah.
No, that makes a hell of a lot of sense. It makes sense what you're saying. What tip would you give to all those that are currently looking for roles right now?
Or what tip would I give? Yeah.
Yeah.
It just to, just not to give up really, just keep on applying no matter how many interviews, keep going for it. But I'm certain that, most people might be doing another job at the moment, but just know that, okay, on the side I'm doing this VA, I'll keep on applying, going for interviews. And every single interviews, just, they might, obviously some of them might will say no, or you might just be favored, you might just get a job like that, and some might just say no, but you just have to keep on learning and learning and learning, and just going for more. The more interviews you go for, the more confidence you're gonna become. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I completely agree. Like it tends to get to a point where it's a numbers game. Once you've kind of mastered each part of the process, so okay, you've done your CV, it's converting, you're getting loads of interviews. Okay, that's great.
Mhm.
You've kind of done one part, you're getting interviews. Then it's that, okay, if you're getting the interviews, what you're saying to the recruiters to being able to go from the
Yeah.
conversation to the actual interview. So,
Yeah.
and so if you're applying to like 100 jobs, are you getting 15 to 20 interviews? Is that the case?
Yeah.
Or if you're applying to 10 jobs, are you getting at least like, 3, 4 interviews, 5 interviews?
Mm.
And then it's the case that,
Yeah.
okay, once you got the interview, how's the interviews going? So if you've been to 10 interviews and you're not getting a job, something's wrong. Something's not right in the interview. Are you saying
Yeah.
something that you shouldn't be saying?
That's right. Yeah. 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 It's true. I agree with you. But one thing I would say to that is in regards to how much interview is going for, because you know, to be honest, I will have to say this because we all, I mean, people who's doing the course want to, get a job and to achieve something. So I just want to make sure people would no, I would probably say, not to think that it's embarrassing to be going for more interview, more interview, more interviews
It's
and
not
not
bad
getting
at all.
job.
It's not bad at
Yeah,
all.
yeah. Number one, it's not embarrassing at all. The reason why I say that is because you have to remember the people who's interviewing you, you're probably only gonna see them once and that's it. And if they, to be honest, and that's it. And also number two, okay, we in this BA program, um, not people who's going for interview. The best thing is to really, in order to keep that confidence going, I'll probably say it's better not to really, tell people that they've been to more interview, because once you say that, they'll probably give you some sort of like response that would really, really, really stop your stop you being encouraged to keep on going, because they will say, that you've done too much interviews. I think you need to find something else. So you just change direction like that quickly, which is not good.
Yeah, like
So
you got to have that full self-belief and like just you got to work the process, because all it takes is just that one interview and it changes everything. But I guess
yeah,
it's like, if you've been to an interview and if you can try to aim to get some sort of feedback from them of where you've kind of gone wrong, and then learn from that, and then just review if there's specific questions you got asked and you didn't know the answer. Okay, for the next interview, you got to make sure you have the answers now. So
yeah,
progressively, it's failing forward basically. Like if you fail, yeah, great, but you learn from it and then you move on. It's not,
Yeah.
it's just business.
Yeah, it can be quite frustrating, which I completely understand, to go for a lot of interviews and not getting that role. The only thing I can say to that is to just, keep it, confidence to yourself. And obviously people can, you look up to, who can give you supporting advice. You can even say, I don't know what's happening. I'm going for all this interview. I'm not getting it. What's going on? That
Yeah.
sort of thing. And look, you should know who you should report to, such as, you and others, or other people's outside of, TLA program, that can actually mentor properly very well. But one thing I know is, it's just all about, keep going. And if you've done up to 10 and still nothing, you can really, sit back, do some reflection of what's happening, get some feedbacks. I think the more feedbacks you get will help as well. I think, yeah, definitely get some every interview. It's always good to get feedback. You can always improve on that one. But one thing is, even though if you're going for the interview and you're not getting that role, you'll be surprised how when I've said from the beginning, it's all about, putting yourself forward, and just because your personality and your character as well can actually win you from securing a job, on top of your actual interview performance. I mean it, yeah. Just your personality itself and character, how you actually carry yourself, you know, it helps as well. So that's why it's always good to always just continue, interviewing, because you never know who's going to offer you the job.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. The personality plays a big part, because last thing any employer wants is someone who knows everything, but then is
Yeah.
you have to be easy to work with, and
Yeah.
just like a good personality, a good soul. But if you're
Yeah.
very difficult to work with, and you're quite harsh, and it's my way, the highway, and you put conditions, and you're just very difficult person,
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
you opinionated, it becomes
Yeah.
a constraint. So
Yeah.
be a bit more easy flowing. But one more question I want to ask you is that, what would you say were the most meaningful moments throughout the BA program? So throughout your journey of securing a BA role, what were the most meaningful moments?
The meaningful moment is just, that this I haven't really thought about this one, but the thing is, throughout the whole, program, because sometimes I do join the evening calls sessions. So those little here and there points and experiences
You get to learn
actually,
from other people's experiences as well at the
yeah,
same time.
yeah.
Makes sense.
I think one thing I do as well is, it might help others as well, is, for example, let's talk about process mapping. I'm into process mapping before joining. Like I said, I was doing BAPM stuff before joining TLA.
Yeah.
But it really improve. I want to improve myself. I will create myself a scenario. So I would draw that. So in a call, when I meet, I would just say, please, oh, can you check this? I actually did. Can you see how did I do? And that just, those are the meaningful moments, all those beats and pieces, all those sessions, all those practice that I just create a scenario. And I also want to say thank you to all the teachers who's doing those calls in the evening. They're really doing really, really good job, I have to say. I think most people are actually benefiting from it, and to even get more benefit, like I said, create those scenario for yourself, do those maps, is it to do with requirement gathering or anything to do with PM or skills or the program to exercise, so that they can see how improving. And those are the meaningful moments to me, because it helps going forward. Yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%. But I want to open up, do 5 minutes of Q&A, and then I'm gonna, towards the end of this call, I'm gonna go through how you guys can get unlimited interviews on tap. How you can get them comfortably, easily. So, got any questions? Just drop them in the Q&A section, and then myself and Uthman will answer any questions you have.
Yeah. Sorry, I couldn't answer. I couldn't, switch my video on because, like I said, I was, it's just the event. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I'm just in the chat section right now. I can see there's a guy called Mazumul Khan who's talking a bit of crap. So Mazumul, get the hell off the damn call. Get the hell off the call. But okay. No. Besides that, I'm still asking. So I guess a better question to ask is, are you getting paid more now than before?
Me.
Yeah.
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and also, to be honest, excuse me, it's because it really depends on how you want to see the actual program, PM or BA or Scrum Master. Because if you really think about it properly, there's so much you can do to it rather than just the pay. It now becomes your everyday, so you can use it in every different things. Because when you're communicating to your friends, or you're in a community, if you're talking, people will be like, okay, why is this guy saying this? What does it mean? So it's, yeah, of course you get the pay that you want, but at the same time, I'm always, for me, I'm always, happy to learn new stuff, because that it actually matters to me the most, because once that's there, the money will just speak for itself, and it will just come natural by itself, because it's the actual skills needs to be, being able to really function very well in the BA world and PM world. So
yeah, no, 100%. I've got a question here. So, question from Lookman: any information on what the course actually is about, what to expect, what's the structure about the actual journey? This is coming from someone who has no knowledge on IT or business. So, guys, I'll tell you very, very briefly, like, difference between data, business analysis, project management, and what's best, which areas are best to go towards, as well as like the actual program itself, the structures, the layouts and stuff like that. Just very, very briefly, I'll explain to you how it works. So basically, right, generally how it works on big projects, and this is coming purely from my experience. So generally how it works on big projects is that you'll have like the data analyst team. The data analyst team, their job is essentially to be able to extract data, cleanse that data, and present that data across to the likes of the management team. The management team will then look at that data, and they will then decide on what changes they want to make based on that data. Now, there's different changes which affect every business, whether it can be a process change, a digital change, or even like a new regulation. Depending on the size of that change will now become a project. And that project will get allocated a project manager to it. And the PM's job essentially is to make sure it's all done within time and within budget, and they will hire all the resources to make sure it's done. And they'll also get allocated a business analyst. A business analyst's job essentially is to implement the best solution, to implement the changes in the business to save the company time and money. So their job ultimately is pretty much split into 3 areas, where they're providing the best solution possible for the change. They gather all the information that's required for the solution, and then they liaise directly with the technical teams to help develop the solution. And then you just went back and forth to the management team with status updates. That's pretty much in a nutshell what you're doing as a business analyst. You're helping implement change. And that comes in the forms of like having loads of meetings and workshops to gather all the information, gathering requirements, find different ways to communicate by using user stories, etc. You do all that sort of stuff. But it's a high communication role, because you're trying to speak to everybody in a language that they understand. Now, the requirements for each type of role, right? So if you're a technical person, so if you're the type of person that, you prefer working on your own, you prefer like nitty-gritty, if you like getting your hands dirty, you like systems and computers, a bit more of a developer type mindset, then 100% data is the right thing for you. Data naturally will make sense. Data, business intelligence analysis. Each one of these 3 fields gets you beyond 100K. Like, you can make money in any of these fields. They all pay extremely well. But it's just doing what's right for your personality. That's what it ultimately comes down to. So data is for those who like to work on their own, in their own devices, and basically get on with it. BA is for those where you probably don't have, where if you don't have management experience, but you want to make a change and you like communicating, you like working as part of a team, and you like communicating and liaising with people and, you know, documenting things down. Not so technical, semi-technical. So you get to double your hands in, it, but you get to work quite well with different people. If you're that kind of person and like communicating, then business analysis is for you. But then you have project management as well. Project management, I would suggest to go for PM if you have some level of management experience. Some people try to jump to project management straight away, but the problem with doing that is that it's very difficult to manage people when you don't know fully what they're doing for a role. Like if you don't fully understand how developers work, it becomes very difficult to manage them, because you know you can't challenge them then, because you don't know what they do. They can give you unrealistic timelines and the pressure, all the pressures on your head. So you want to be a good project manager. So don't jump into project management straight away. There's too much pressure too soon. Business analysis is less pressure. All 3 jobs you get to work from home. It's all cushy. But you want to do what's right for your personality and long term. The ultimate aim is to get to like £1,000 per day. That's the ultimate aim, which is going more towards like business architecture and going towards like program management, which goes beyond like £700 plus per day. And that's usually the heights of the whole contracting world, those kind of jobs. And the path to that starts off with data, business analysis, project management. These kind of roles gets you towards that. Then you also got roles like being a product owner, being a scrum master. There's so many other roles which you'll get exposed to, but it's kind of like, to a certain extent, a lot of you guys are in a situation where you don't know what you don't know. And until you're not in that situation, then you can really figure out what you like and what you don't like. And then you can make a more informed decision of which area you want to go towards next. But BA, PM, these are like the starting blocks, depending on, like I said, the criteria. Depends on the criteria. But if you don't have enough management experience, but you like communicating, BA is definitely the right path for you. In terms of how our programs work as a whole, structurally how it works, they all work in the exact same way. So the programs that we have, they're essentially 3-stage programs where we provide you with initial certification. So for business analysis is the BCS Foundation exam. For data, we use the data camp data analysis certification. And for project management is either Prince2 or the Agile qualification. So we prepare you for the certification first. That's stage 1. And the way we do that is a blend of the 2-day live webinars as well as online learning. So it's a blend of both. So you get more than enough support to help you pass the exam first time. So it's quite straightforward. You can sit the exam anytime within 12 months. Once stage 1 is complete, we move to the second stage where we give you hands-on experience. This is like the most important part, because the qualifications, they don't have as much value on its own when you're looking to make a switch. It holds value when you're say, for example, I'm already a business analyst, and then I go for all these loads of BA qualifications. That makes sense because it shows that I'm consistent with my craft. It shows that I'm loyal to my craft. Then it makes sense in that scenario. When you're looking to make a switch, qualification on its own will not do anything. I promise you guys, like you know, try and go for PM, just get Prince2 and so on, start applying. You're gonna get a job. Right? The only way is you have to have experience. You have to have experience. The only way. Why is someone going to give you, right, £60,000 a year to do a job where you only know it theoretically? Well, why are they going to do that? And they're gonna pay you 60K, and then they're going to train you to do the work. For these kind of roles, they already expect you to have a certain level of knowledge where you can kind of hit the ground running. That's why they're paying you so much, so you can hit the ground running. Which is why we, as a training provider, help with that, to help you break into those kind of roles. Because when you do get into these jobs, they'll give you company-specific training on company-specific systems, but the actual, like, they want you to like kind of like hit the ground running. So that's why the training that we give you gets you to a point where you can pretty much hit the ground running in these jobs. So how this 3-month program works is that you'll be joining a 3-month project where we're working as a BA for National Client of Ours It's all done remotely and part-time, so it won't conflict with any of your current commitments. And how it works is that once every 2 weeks, you'll be logging onto a Zoom call, and it's a project call, which takes place usually on Saturdays. On that call, there's a project lead, a project manager, and all the BAs or the data BIs on there. And everyone gets shown what to do and how to do it first, and then you allocate a task, and you have to complete that task by the deadlines that are set. And we do this over an entire period of 3 months. And what you're learning, so if it's a BA program, you're learning the full project lifecycle, or if it's a PM program. If it's a data program, you're learning the data lifecycle. So like how to extract data, cleanse it, and present it, or whether it's the case of being able to start a project, kind of execute it or close it down, whether it's a BA or as a PM. At the end of the 3 months, you'll get the confidence to walk and talk like a BA, PM, or a data BI, but then you'll also get a reference which you can then add onto the CV. So the chance of you being able to secure that job now is 10 times higher because you've got formal experience to back you up. The final part is then we give you the recruitment support. So now we're going to help you get a job. So I'm going to share my screen very briefly with you guys now. So if you guys can see my screen, okay. So here it is. Okay, so you can see over here, this is our portal that we have. So this is for the business analysis. This is our levels portal that we have. So how our program works as a whole is that you're going to get access to a series of modules which you'll get access to where you can watch it. Because as you can appreciate, there's a lot of moving parts to what we do. We give you certification, we prepare you for the projects as well, but then we also give you the recruitment support where we're helping you with your CV, your LinkedIn profile, creating an actual presentation. So when you go to these interviews, you know exactly what to do. We have a sample slide deck which you can download, plug and play, change it around, and whole video explaining how to go about structuring it. And then you've got recruitment secrets, how to untap, how to tap into get an unlimited amount of interviews, the actual interview stuff, what the hell to do in the interview. We got like loads of question and answers in there, got all the cheat codes in there, like what to say, how to structure your answers, etc. How to explain the project, access to all coaching call recordings, everything. And once you got the job, you fill that out. So it's a full system, but the way we do the system is that for every single section on here, there's elements where you have this call where it's recorded video, but then we also have the part where we also have the coaching calls at the back of it. So if you get stuck in any part of it, you have these coaching calls which take place every single week. So you attend the coaching call, if you have any questions, fill the form in, all your questions get answered. So there's enough support available to make sure that like you get a damn job. You follow this program, you will get a job. Like it's insane that the results that we've got at the back of this. We've got guys who jump from like 20K jobs to like 40, 50, 60, 70, 80K plus, 45K to 110K plus. That's one on top of my head. Harris Niles and probably Shuaib Uddin, those two are probably done best because they've like Harris Niles got 2 contracts. He might secure 2 contracts, £500 per day and a £400 a day contract, and doing both together for a £900 a day. And you got Shuaib, who's got a 85K job, and then he's got £550 per day contract on the side. So they're doing like.
So you do 2 contracts. You said it shows.
Yeah. So those guys do 2 contracts together, and Shuaib's doing a perm job and a contract. So they're doing that together. so like, there's no like. I know if I went back into the market, I know I would 100% do like 4 or 5 jobs, and I will hire somebody like from like from countries where the labor is cheap. I'll get a beer from there and I'll offload my tasks. A lot of them. I know personally I would do that, and I would cash out like £2 a day if I went back in this market. But like, because it's very easy, it's very straightforward. Once you learn it and understand it, it's all easy after that. It becomes very, very easy. So it's just more that, but that's how we work as a whole in terms of our program, our structure. What I would personally suggest, so when it comes to like dates, pricing, all of that, like we have monthly intakes going on. Currently it's on a specific discount that we have. But what I would really suggest is book a call with our team. I 100% suggest to speak with our team. I'll drop a link in the chat section now, which I think it'd be best for you guys. Book a call with the team, and we'll break down where you're currently at right now. We'll assess your experience and which area would be best for you based on your circumstances, and if we can help you get the result. We only offer these programs to people if we genuinely feel that we can get you the results. Otherwise, we don't offer. Like, if someone told us that, like, okay, you know what, come from a manufacturing background, like pure like factory based or a farmer, for example, yeah, we can do it, but it's just going to take longer because it's just it's a steeper hill to climb. Right? But it's possible. It's not, nothing's impossible. But when you have some level of professional experience, it's a very easy switch to make, from our experience anyway. So I've just dropped a link in the chat section now, so feel free to book a call, speak to our coaches, and they'll get you enrolled onto the program itself. The price is between like 1,500 to 3 grand, just depends on what you're on. But yeah, it all comes down to what you value more, whether it's the price or the results. I'm just going through the rest of it. Look, man, I hope that answers your question. I appreciate that, Osman. Appreciate the support. And Manta. Okay, Dimitri. No, I don't think it resembles a student, to be honest. I think he's an angry person. Dimitri, I'm on the course to extremely high time. I appreciate that, Dimitri. Okay, Hamid, could you please confirm that after course completion, TLA won't help in your interviews? We do help. We help during the whole process, the entire full end-to-end. It's just follow that call, attend the coaching calls. Don't miss the calls. Like, look, guys, we'll do our part, but you got to make sure you attend the calls, just like Uthman, attend the damn calls, and like make sure you got a pen and paper ready. You make as many notes as you can during the process. Like, learn from other people's experiences. The whole community in the Facebook group that we have for students. You can reach out to the likes of Shahid Khan, Akib, Amjad. Like, there's so many people. Rachel here. Like, there's so many people that managed to secure jobs in that group. So definitely feel free to like reach out and go through all the other career switching workshops we do like every other week. I know last year we were doing it literally every week, and we were slammed with like 3-4, like every single call, like 3-4 students jumping on. And we've still got like a massive, huge backlog of students which you need to interview. And we'll really get to that. But I'll start making these. I'll make sure that these calls are more regular because I want to keep people pumped up, inspired, everything. Question from Oluwasirin: which role is easier to get, BA or PM? 100% I would suggest BA. There's just a hell of a lot more jobs available. Osman, how much experience do you need for moving abroad? I'd say if you had like a good 4 or 5 years of professional work experience, and then you can switch that across to BA, that will be sufficient enough to go to likes of Dubai or something like that. Abad, could you please talk about doing multiple jobs for more income? Which roles are best to combine? Scrum Master and BA, 2 BA roles? Yeah, try not to go for somewhat too dissimilar. So go for 2 BA roles, like master it fully so you can do multiple at the same time. Then it'll just make your life a lot easier. You go for 2 completely different roles, because Scrum Master is like, it's quite meeting heavy. And if you've got a lot of work to do, you can't, there'll be clashes. So BA is quite, I guess there's benefits, there's pros and cons to, switching between a BA and a PM role, or BA and a Scrum Master role, or BA and a product owner role, or business architecture role. I can see the pros and cons to it. But I'll just go for BA role, like master it fully first. And then if you've got loads of experience already and you already a Scrum Master, but you're thinking of making the switch to BA, or you're a tester at the moment and you want to be a BA, then it makes sense to switch between the two. That makes sense to me. But if you're trying to learn how BA market works, and then you want to be a Scrum Master as well, it's too much of a hill to climb. Just get to BA roles, master. Martinet, is a 3-month placement enough experience to secure a BA role with no experience? Yeah, 100%. So, guys, so for everybody on this call right now, the secret sauce to what we do is like, when it comes to this 3rd stage and we provide recruitment support, we help you leverage all your existing experiences to your advantage. So if in every workplace, there's always a time where you're always dealing with some sort of change, process change, a new regulation. Like, it's inevitable to not come across change in the workplace. It's inevitable. So we talk about how you are part of those changes. Now, how you help deliver those changes. So we're going to leverage your existing experience in that way. Now you're going to go with the track record that you've dealt with change, and then we add the 3 months experience which we've given you. So you're going in with quite a few years of experience, providing you've got like say 4 or 5 years of professional work experience. So you can be going with like 5 years worth of BA type experience, change experience. So we show you how to convert that into BA like terms. So we'll help you with all that. So don't worry, like you won't be going with no experience. That way you can get to mid-level and senior level roles straight away. Question from Anwana, how easy is it to get an outside IR35 role? You'd have to search for that specifically, so you can go on the likes of JobServe and type in outside IR35 type roles, and then you have to really be specific with your search. Khaled, I would like to know about the certification exam. Is it objective or theory? So all theory certification exam is multiple choice, 65% pass mark. That's what it is for the BCS. Kehinde, what's the plan with mentoring? So we do a lot of coaching. There's a lot of coaching that's involved. At each stage, you allocate a separate mentor or coach, if you want to put it. For 2 days, you got a specific tutor. For the 3-month project, you got the project lead. And then for the recruitment support, then you got specific coaches in place for that as well. So everything, like you get the best of those specific instructors in that specific stage. So it's not like a jack of all trades or anything like that. And you got the portal, so you can't get lost. As you guys can appreciate, there's a lot to this program. There's a hell of a lot to the program. So but we want to make sure that we're delivering on absolutely everything. That's the main thing for us. We want to deliver on absolutely everything. So we've structured it in this way where we know we can genuinely deliver it to a large audience. Okay, Michelle, thank you, much appreciated. Looking forward to start the course. That's amazing, Michelle. Looking forward to having you on board. Thank you. What date is next month BA course starting? Hamid is starting on the 8th and 9th of July. And then we also have the 23rd and 24th of July as well. Okay, I'm going to head over to the Q&A section. So any more questions, drop it in the Q&A section. Okay, I would like to know about certification exam. Is it theory or objective? It's theory. That's for Anonymous. Do you reckon the BA market will remain strong from Diana? Yeah, 100%. It'll definitely remain strong. BA is kind of a role which can never be automated. It can't be automated because your job is to put the automations in place. That's why it's always going to stay strong. Like before, like I'm going to talk about 8-9 years ago, there were only like 60,000-70,000 jobs of BA. But now you're looking at close to 500,000. There's so many jobs out there right now. So don't worry. There's loads of jobs available. I have subscribed to it, but I don't have access to the portal. How can I get back on the portal? Thomas Stargy, if you just ping a message to customer care at transformlearningacademy.com, and then we can help you get that access back. It's not an issue. Dimitri Gibro, were the interviews remote or in person? So question for Uthman. Uthman, were these interviews remote or were they all in person that you had?
Sorry, are you talking? Sorry, can you? I still thought you were doing the question and answer. Sorry, can you repeat that?
So were the interviews remote or were they all in person?
In most cases, it's remote. You know, if it goes up to different stages, you could have the first stage could be remote, yeah, and the second stage could still be remote. If it goes up to the final stage, the master, okay, they want to see you in play. It really depends really on how the company works or the organization. But in most cases, to start with, it's remote, yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. It's just best, remote just works best because it's just less resources, less traveling, and you get to maximize your time when it's all remote.
Yeah.
That's 2 hours traveling, now you can be productive during that time.
Yeah.
So it just works out better for everyone. But a lot of these jobs generally tend to be remote. I don't see it changing anytime soon. I think they will probably implement more of a hybrid working approach eventually. But
yeah,
for now, they're just sticking towards this whole code until it doesn't completely die down.
But most companies want to save a lot of money as well, so they will usually do the interview remotely. It's only when they want to really hire you, and they probably say, "Oh, come to our office or something." Yes.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah.
Next question we have is Zahid Islam. Is SQL worth learning? Yeah, 100%. Guys, for those guys who think that, okay, SQL is some next level coding, it's not the next level coding. Just think of it as Excel on steroids. That's pretty much what it is. So Excel can only ever hold so much amount of data, but with SQL, it allows you to like have like multiple databases all in one platform, and then you can search from multiple databases. So just think of it as Excel on steroids. That's pretty much what it is. So it's definitely worth learning. A lot of companies, large companies, they have so much data, they use SQL. So it's definitely worth learning. But if you're looking to learn it, we have like a very specific program for that. So definitely feel free to reach out and book a call with the team. Chioma, I just joined. Please, what discount can I get so I can join the class? As the current price really high for me now, I'm currently a student. Chioma, it's definitely worth pinging the customer care at transformlearningacademy.com an email, and we can sort something out for you. So just ping us the email. It all depends on the situation, circumstances, etc., what course you're on, and so forth. But yeah, ping us a message. Thomas, if your CV shows a senior role and you're retrying to get a starting role for a BA, how does it play out? Do you think it favors or diminishes your chances? Look, if you're, it depends on what you're senior in, but if you're a senior, I'm assuming you've got quite a few years of experience in something already. So when you try to like switch that across to BA, it should be generally quite easy. It'd be quite straightforward to do. It shouldn't be too difficult. Good thing is in the TLA portal, we have like different examples from like healthcare examples, finance examples, energy examples of being able to switch that across from those sectors into business analysis. So, and it's just any specific examples that you require, then just attend the coaching calls on Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays, 7 p.m. and the coaches will help you out with that. But it shouldn't be difficult at all. Like that's like a bonus. It should be even easier for you. Not difficult. Okay, back to the chat section. Okay. I'm Hamid. I'm looking to start 20th to 21st next month. I will book a call to have more details. Perfect. Thank you, Hamid. I really appreciate that. Okay, Uthman, I really appreciate you joining the call. This final part of the call, I'm going to cover very briefly how you can get crazy amount of interviews and how you could do it just by applying some effort. But I'm gonna go on LinkedIn. I'm gonna explore LinkedIn. Like guys, like what I'm about to show you is crazy stuff. And there's different parts to LinkedIn which you really need to understand and master. Like I managed to generate like well over 1 million out of back of using LinkedIn. Don't worry, Dad, I'm going to share my screen. Please share your screen. Don't worry, the results are crazy that I personally managed to generate from it. So I'm going to go through like some. I'll show you. In fact, you know, I'll just freaking show you guys. That'll probably be the best way. Hold on. Let me get it. Comment in the chat section if you guys can see my screen, okay? Just comment yes if you can see my screen, okay? Yeah, okay, perfect. Okay. Okay, so this is my personal LinkedIn. So this is my career coaching profile that I personally use. Now, okay. There comes the different parts of your LinkedIn profile. So there's the way you want to see a LinkedIn, right, is think of it like having your own shop. You got your shop where, think of it like, okay, imagine you walk into Tesco and you do your own shopping. You go in there, you think you know what you want in your head, and then you go and then you see something in the aisle, and you grab that, and you go on another aisle, and you grab that, and you go on another aisle, and you just grab anything random thing, and it's just an open shop, and you can grab what you want, right? That's kind of like having a LinkedIn profile, which is a bit scattered and a bit all over the place. The alternative is like, imagine you went to Tesco, and there was a customer service advisor waiting at the door for you, and he walked you around. I guarantee by the end of that shopping journey, you will have bought a hell of a lot more. He's going to recommend you the best products, the best product, and he'll give you solid recommendations. That's kind of like having a very organized LinkedIn profile, and everything has a place. There's a very specific structure for a converting LinkedIn profile where you can get the eyeballs on your LinkedIn profile and then get them to message you. It's super powerful. So think of this like your shop. When you walk into your shop, what do you want people to see inside your shop? So it starts off with a banner on top. So the banner is to show a level of authority, a high-end image. It can either show a taste of your work or show what you're about. For me, it's about transforming people's lives, changing people's careers, right? Hence my banner. I'll show you this profile very briefly, but then I'm also going to show you an actual profile of one of the other coaches that we have and the structure of his profile, just to help you understand how it works. So high-end banner first, then you got a professional picture. Now, obviously, your banner doesn't need to be like that. Like it can be, you can downplay. Like you could, not everyone's going to be in a seminar like that, right? But when it comes to like, you can have an office background, you can have some greenery, you can have like say business analysis and some like specific keywords in there to show what you're about. It can be absolutely anything, right? This picture, this needs to be professional. You need to show that you mean business, right? That was the time when I had really good hair. It's going back. Being pilgrimage is definitely going back. But you want a really good professional picture. It shows that you mean business. It shows that you're loyal to your craft. It shows that you're very serious. You know what the hell you're talking about as an expert, as an authority figure. When you have pictures where you're next to a car or like, you're at a party or a wedding, and it doesn't show that you're serious. It doesn't show that you're serious. You want to show that you're serious. You know what the hell you're talking about. And that comes with like, being in the business attire. So don't put like funny pictures and stuff like that, or like, at a prom or like at some party and just drinking. So you don't want any of that stuff. You want to keep it like clear, concise, professional. Next then is your name. So guys, anybody with a complicated long name. So look, we get students from all sorts of backgrounds from all around the world. Different cultures have different types of names. But when you have a name which is quite complicated or quite difficult to pronounce, naturally the human brain, it tends to forget those names. Like it's very, like if you can't pronounce a name properly, you'll end up forgetting it. That's just natural. Like my full name is Shahzad Shafiq. But I get really annoyed when I have to get on a phone call to the bank and I have to keep spelling my name out. S sugar, H for hotel, E for echo. I hate that crap. I'm done with it. So, but it needs to be easy. Shaz. My name is Shaz. S-H-A-Z. Just get used to it. And people tend to remember that much more. Whereas when I have to break it down, I get super annoyed. I don't want to be doing that. So if you have a long name, commercialize it and shorten it down. So it just makes it easier. So for example, one of our students called Miraj, but his nickname is Bobby. So if his name is Bobby, like put Bobby. Bobby's easy to remember. Like you can't forget a Bobby. It's very easy. So you change it to Bobby. Your commercial name could be whatever you want. But when it comes down to like once you got the job and you got to go fill out the paperwork, then put your full name on there, your passport name. That's fine. But what you want people to address you as, that can be your commercial name. That can be a shortened version of your name. So that's really, really important. It's the same reason why, like the Dragon's Den, Dragon James Khan, he was called James Khan, he was some Iftikhar or something. Like it was called something quite complicated. But he changed his name to James Khan because it's so easy to pronounce and it rolls off the tongue. And if it's easy to pronounce, you're going to be remembered. The name is really, really important. Next is this over here. So, okay. From now, you know what? My profile probably won't be the most relevant because it's more business related. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. Okay, so. Okay, so see this. Okay, so this is Akif's profile. You can see business intelligence on top. So this is for a data business intelligence analyst. This is the kind of profile that you're going to have. So you got a good high level banner. you got professional picture, and then you got over here, you got all the titles. So the way LinkedIn works is very similar to how Google operates, in the sense that it's all based on searches. So you type something in Google, and then websites come up that use these kind of keywords. LinkedIn works the same way. When recruiters type in these keywords, they're looking for a BI developer, or someone with data quality and control analyst, for example. You want your profile to rank right on top. So it's important to have all the relevant keywords of different job titles and different variations in this first section over here. Then you'll become searchable. Then you will get headhunted. All right, so now you'll activate loads of inbound inquiries. You don't have to do the work. Once you've got all that there and your profile optimized, it's a LinkedIn magnet. I was going to say chick magnet. LinkedIn magnet, right? There'll be a LinkedIn magnet. So the recruiters will just come flocking to you because you've got all the right keywords and it's now become searchable. So you've got to make it searchable. Next is the about section over here. Why work with me? Who do I work with? How do we get started? There's a very specific structure. I see a lot of people, they just put random stuff in here, like, I'm a very hard worker, and, I've been doing X, Y, and Z, and, I love to run, and I love to play golf. Who cares? No one cares, right? Like, get straight to the point. Why work with me? Who do I work with? How to contact me? How do we get started? Send me a message. It's that. So very specific format and structure. Then you want a featured section. So this is where you can show now a taste of your work. So this is super important. Like, show a taste of your work, because that's what attracts people onto your profile. I'll go into that in a second. But featured section, so you can show a sample of your work. So for data, is a bit more tangible. So you can create dashboards in Tableau, Power BI, and just explain all sorts of different types of scenarios. Or you can do a post and you can put it as part of the featured section. Show something, show a taste of your work. You can even, put a presentation or use a case story. It doesn't matter what it is. You can put something there, have something there, maximize that. That's like the window to your shop, what you want them to see. That's pretty much the window. Okay, next is your experience. So experience, it needs to be like consistent all the way throughout. Role overview, what you were doing there, and then the key achievement. So what value did you bring? Did you make them money, save them money, or save them time? That's all employers care about. Again, role overview, achievement. Again, role overview, achievement. Role overview, achievement. And again, role overview, achievement. So it's consistent all the way throughout. That's super important. So it attracts the eye, it's very easy to read. I see some CVs where, for one set of experience, you put, just key duties, but then the other one, you've got key achievements, then you've got experience. And the third one has got no key achievements, just it's just all over the place. Keep it consistent all the way throughout your entire CV, so a solid structure your CV or your LinkedIn profile is following. Put your education section, any certifications that you don't, put that all in here. Put all your skills, endorsements. Ultimately, you want to be known for specific things. Your endorsements over here, if you endorse people, they'll come back on your profile and they will also endorse you. And then you got your recommendation section. You leave people recommendations, they'll go back on your profile and leave you a recommendation. Very simple. This is super, super powerful though, like extremely powerful. So that's one thing. So one part of it is to optimize your LinkedIn profile. So that's now, okay, your shop is built for being able to get a recruiter to go on your profile and to message you. So your profile is done at this point. But now it's like, how the hell do you get eyeballs onto your LinkedIn profile? So yeah, you made it searchable, that's great, but you have no control over that. Some people search it, some people don't. They either click on it, they click and don't click on it. It's not predictable. You want to make it predictable. So the best way to do that, two ways. So this now, I'm going to touch on the mindset that you guys need. So when I learned this changed the course of my life. Like the way I thought going forward, it just changed. The reason why I do these kind of calls where I want to speak to mass audiences. I don't want to speak to just one person at a time all the time. So I want to speak to the damn entire world. It's just this mindset I want to give you guys, which changed everything for me, upside down, literally overnight. And it's the difference between being a lighthouse and being a tugboat. The big difference, huge difference. So imagine you're stranded in the middle of the sea and you're trying to get back to the harbor. Now, A tugboat will come out to you, it will pull you, it will scratch you, it will drag you, it will expend all that energy, but eventually it will bring you back to the harbor. Right? It'll do it, it works, but it doesn't expend a hell of a lot of energy. Whereas a lighthouse just shines its light, and naturally you will just be guided by the light and you'll just pull into the harbor, just following that light. Less time, less energy, and you're just showing value. The difference is that when you're a tugboat, that's like messaging recruiters, chasing, hunting them down one by one by one by one. All that time, all the energy, pulling, scratching, it's quite a lot of effort. When you post, you're showing authority. Less time, less energy, and you show a taste of your work up front. The more tasters that you give in your career, the more opportunities you're going to attract long term. Like, I can't tell you guys like the effect posting has. Like, you want to posting builds brand. So for example, if you want recruiters to think of you as like a business analyst, when you keep posting and they keep seeing your name, the next time they have a requirement for a business analyst, they'll think of your name. That's how powerful posting is. And it requires a bit of effort. Yeah, you can post that 3 times a week, but when you do that, you'll see like loads of opportunities will just come flocking your way. But now you guys are probably thinking, okay, yeah, but Shaz, like what the hell do I post about? Easy. Let me just get rid of that objection right now. So you could go on this website. It's called answerthepublic.com. You can type in, so say for example, you want to produce content, right? So the business analyst, like you can even go more technical, right? But say business analyst, so type in business analyst. This website is basically what everybody's searching in Google right now. What kind of questions is everybody searching within Google? And it'll present it with all the type of questions that people are asking. So you can see on this chart right now, people asking, are business analysts in demand in the UK? What business analyst means? What business analyst consultant? What business analyst certification? Where business analysts work? What business analysts do? What business analysts do on a daily basis? Who is business analyst? Is business analyst a dying career? Is business analyst a technical job? Is it a stressful job? And if you want to go even more like technical, type in user stories. Let's see what it says, user stories. And you can literally just pick one of those topics, do a quick post on it, and post it. Like, just give your opinion. You giving your opinion straight away makes you an authority figure. Straight away. Like, it takes you there just by you giving your opinion on a post. But like, you gotta know and feel it that you are an authority-like figure. Like, you shine your light and you let them come towards you. Let them just flock on you. You'll attract it. Whereas if you're always constantly messaging, I'm not saying not to message. Messaging 100% works. Like, we still do that. But the benefit that posting can give you, it just puts the messaging on steroids, because then they'll answer. When they keep seeing your post and then you message them, they're 10 times more likely to answer back to your message. Whereas if you just message and you got no presence or brand, then you message you, like, it's not, you're just anybody else. But when you constantly post out there, they'll be like, wow, okay, this guy's, he knows what he's talking about. He's a person that demands respect. He knows his value. That's what posting does. So here's a follow user story. So what are user stories in UX? What are user stories in product management? What is user stories in business analysis? What user stories? How are user stories applied? Why user stories are important? How to work on user stories? Where are user stories written? So like stuff like this, you're given a taste of your work. Think of it like being in, like, having a takeaway. I always use this example. Imagine you have your own takeaway, your own food shop, and your aim is to attract loads of customers in your takeaway. What's the fastest and easiest way? Not giving leaflets. Don't even think about that. Don't even post that. Don't message that in the chat. No, not giving leaflets. The fastest way is to stand on the street and give a taste of your damn food. Because the minute somebody has a small piece of it, they're going to want the whole pie. Give them a small piece of pie, they don't want the whole damn pie. Naturally. That's the fastest way. And so you give tasters. give constant data. The most data that you give in your life, the better are. So just give abundantly, just keep giving forever, ever and ever, for as long as you can. And you'll see it'll come back 10 times in return. The more you give, the better it is. But don't do giving and then you expect to take back. Don't do that. Don't have that mindset. That give, just keep giving, and you'll see naturally it will all come back to you. So I don't look, guys, I don't have
Hello.
to help, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry, yeah, just sorry, what's the name of this site again that's giving you this discovery? What do you call it?
Answerthepublic.com.
Okay.
Yeah, answerthepublic.com. So you can do posts on this, which is super effective, and that now helps you build brand. Like, look, I don't have to do these type of calls, but I like doing these type of calls because I want to inspire. I want to keep giving. I want to give forever. And the more you give, naturally, it just comes back tenfold in return. But if I'm always there, like trying to give and then, expecting like tit for tat or just like constantly taking and stuff, it's bad energy. It's not good energy at all. Like, you just learn to keep giving like unlimited, and you'll see like it'll come back tenfold for you. But yeah, that's with LinkedIn now. That's one strategy. So posting definitely helps long-term for brand. Now the other is messaging. Yeah, you can message recruiters directly. So ideally, you want to be able to like search recruiters. Like, your profile is only as good as the people that you have in your connection base. So you've got to keep growing your connection base. You need new traffic. New traffic means new recruiters constantly. So you can search recruitment consultant. You can, go into all filters, and then you could go to the industry type that you want the recruiters in. So where's the industry? I say I want it in computer software as one, financial services, you can do HR, and then if you want specific companies, you can do that. You can like really target, like go really deep into it. So let's search it. You can see all these recruitment consultants. You can even do about location, country. If you want to go down to Dubai, just change the location to Dubai. I also done this. One of the recent ones, like us, secured a BA role in Dubai, £93,000 a year, tax-free, just by following this exact same strategy that I'm showing you right now. And it's with KPMG as well. So one of the big four. Now look, this, you can just connect, just keep connecting. It's I think the limitation of 100 or 200 per week that you get, but keep connecting and keep growing that base. And then you can message them. And it's very simple messaging. Like, as part of the program, we give you the messaging of what to say to these recruiters, everything like this, the full process, everything I'm saying is all recorded as part of the program. So you just follow the LinkedIn like step by step, like it works like a charm. So that's one. Next is like, you go to this job section over here. You can apply for business analyst roles over here. So let me type in business analyst. Okay, so I type into it, but rather than just clicking apply, yeah, you can do that. So you can see the company here, Liverpool John Moores University. Okay, so go to Liverpool John Moores University. You can see here 3,996 employees. Click into it and search the person that's actually going to be hiring for that. So type in HR manager. So program leader, HR resource and operations manager, executive director. Look, there's so many people over here. Sometimes the actual job spec even gives you the who's recruiting for it. Does this one show it? To be recruiting. Okay, this one doesn't show it, but I'm sure I've seen some where it actually has the person that's hiring for it, and you can just like message them directly. It just makes it live. So here you can see Rachel Leong. So now I'm going to find a way to get her directly. I'm going to Oliver James. She will not ignore me. she will not ignore me. She should go direct. Like, why waste time, right? So bam, found her. Connect it, message it, and yeah, get in. So that way, it's like you're getting constant attention, consistent attention, like get attention from the right people. And you can do this with job boards as well, like on the job board. So like, look, you go into like job serve. There, I'm applying for like a business intelligence or business intelligence. Okay, here's one. So posted by VQ Limited. Let's just use this one as an example, right? So, okay. So now VQ Limited is one that's hiring for this BI role. But now I can apply on this, great, I'll do that. But then you want a faster response, right? So go in here. VQ IT recruitment, make sure the logos match. Yeah, they match. 32 employees there. And now connect with every damn recruiter in there and start getting messaging and go direct to the source. If you want to go one step further, go on Google, go on VQ Limited, find the company number and ask to speak to someone within there. Like some jobs do actually give the names itself, like who's actually so posted by usually has like the name. So this is additionally you can contact Leandra Maritz. So Leandra, I'm sure I just saw her name a second ago. Leandra Maritz, there you are. And then ping her a message, like connect with her, send her a message, and she's getting a phone call with you straight away. So grab their attention. Like that's how you increase your conversions. That's how you increase the amount of interviews that you're getting, by going directly to source. Don't just do one-click applies and constantly just apply like that. Like use a bit of strategy, man. Like just go directly to the person and pick up that phone, get them on a call, and get that interview booked in straight. So, guys, okay, that's pretty much it. That's what I'm going to cover for now. There's like so much more. There's all part of the program, right? There's all part of the program. Does it make sense what I've covered? Just comment yes in the chat section if the content that I've just shared right now made sense. Just comment yes. Did you guys just like find that useful and stuff? Okay, that's good to know. Perfect. Okay, that's really good to know. But just remember, guys, long-term wise, you want to make sure that like it's all about that building that brand.
Yeah. Thank you. Shez, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, thank you for having me on the call. I would sign out. Thank you so much.
No worries.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone for joining the call. Thank you guys for attending the workshop. For anybody who is looking to become a business analyst or a project manager, then there's a link to book an application call with the team. I've dropped it in the chat section, so definitely scroll up. And the coaches that we have, they'll run you through how the program works. And if you fit our criteria, we'll happily get you on board and get the results you after. Until next time, my name is Shafiq, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next workshop. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you, Shaz. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
See you later. Bye.
Thank you. Take care. Bye. Bye.
Guys, the next workshop is going to be, so I can see some people put in the chat section, next workshop. So we're going to have one coming, it'll be next Wednesday, will be the next workshop. So I'm going to start doing it more regular. So we'll start doing it weekly again. So I'll get you guys on next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Tune in then.